So it's been about a year and a half since I last made a video about the GTA 6 map, or at least the predicted GTA 6 map made by the brilliant people on the mapping project, the GTA 6 mapping project, these creators who kind of come together, collaborate, taking into account all the leaks, all the trailers, all the screenshots, any kind of promotional material, and they compile it and they try to work out a rough idea for what the GTA 6 map might look like. Now, in that year and a half since I last made a video, we have had the second trailer, and we've also had that huge dump of information about the locations and the people and some of the missions. And accompanied with that were plenty of screenshots as well, which will have been added to this. And with pre-orders opening this week, and potentially a third trailer coming this week alongside those pre-orders, I thought it was a perfect time to jump back in and revisit what these mappers, these brilliant people in the mapping community, think the GTA 6 map might look like. Now, please bear in mind, firstly, that this is just predictions. It's not concrete, although I will say that the GTA 5 map, in terms of what was predicted at the time, looked very similar to what ended up being the case in real life when the game actually came out. And I will also say that a lot of the map is blank. That doesn't mean that there's nothing going to be there. It just means we don't have information about that yet. So, as you can see, it looks very densely kind of populated around the Vice City area on the southeast of the map and down into the Keys on the south of the map. But the rest of it is a bit bare. That doesn't mean that, it's going to be bare in the actual game. It just means we don't have that much information about it. So, firstly, I just want to say thank you to, I don't know if there are names on this anywhere, credits. Yeah, it's a bit fiddly. Let's just zoom into the credits to give these people credit where credit's due. I'm not going to read all those names, but there you go. Credit to all those people. And I'll quickly show the legend over here as well. So I believe that the red. So the redder something is, the more speculative it is. So the more kind of based on speculation it is. Whereas if it's more the color of this side here, it's more likely to be legit, more confirmed. So here we've got, these are roads, these are alleyways, these are railways, these are guideways. I'm not entirely sure what that means. And this is the border and pavement here as well. And this sort of shows camera view. So if you're, say, taking a screenshot from, or you're taking information from a screenshot, this will be where, the camera would be in that situation. And here we've got kind of the magenta or purple ones are from trailer 1, the blue ones are from trailer 2, red ones are screenshots, green is artwork, and yellow is leak. Here we have buildings as well. So again, if something's red, it's unconfirmed. If it's light red, it's confirmed, but they're not entirely sure about the exact location. And if it's grey, it's confirmed as well. And then if it's got the red outline, that's kind of a speculative shape. So they're not entirely sure of the shape there. So let's go back to the map. And the first thing you'll notice if you compare this video with my previous video from a year and a half ago is the map has changed shape. And that's because in the previous version, we had the kind of panhandle up here. If you know what Florida looks like in real life, as I'm sure most people will, it's kind of a sort of a gun shape, I suppose, if you think this is the kind of grip of the gun and then it's got the barrel. But this bit up here is called the panhandle in real life. And initially, the mapping project had that panhandle here, but it has since removed it and made it into this shape, which is a bit more familiar because I feel like it looks a bit similar to the GTA 5 map in a way. Obviously, we're expecting it to be bigger and the layout is going to be different, but it looks kind of similar. We've just got, rather than having the city down south, we've got it in the east, and then we'd still have the kind of foresty, rural countryside area up in the north by the looks of it, but hopefully some more towns and cities, which we will get into. Sorry, I've wasted enough time already. Let's zoom into Vice City, and I'm not going to be clicking on every single one of these things because then this video will be 10 hours long, but I just want to kind of get a rough idea of what things are looking like. So if we go into the center of Vice City here, I'll just click on a couple of these things. God, there's a lot of detail here, isn't there? What's this? So this is the tennis court here. And then we've got some kind of apartment buildings or condominiums or whatever they're called. We've got some more kind of apartment buildings based on the trailers and the leaks over here. So quite detailed in terms of Vice City. As I said, it's the area we've got the most information about, which isn't entirely surprising. And we've got the kind of different areas of Vice City as well. So here we've got, I think over here is kind of Vice Beach. Yep. So Miami Beach in real life. And we've got a lot going on here. I think these are all kind of hotels and maybe some kind of casinos and clubs and stuff. So yeah, Boardwalk, Vice Beach. This is an area, is this Ocean Drive here? An area we've seen a lot of in the promotional material so far, and in GTA Vice City as well. So that's a very iconic area. Here we've got Ocean Beach, which is based on South Beach. And again, a lot of kind of, what's this, a tennis court over here. Some other kind of buildings going on, probably some hotels again. So here we've got, Vice Beach going into Ocean Beach. And then up here, if we head north, we've got where the mappers believe will be the golf club, which is called Leaf Links, a potential hospital complex over here. And this area is based on Bay Harbor, which I suppose is an area in Miami in real life. And then in the middle, we've got these, what in real life are called the Venetian Islands, which link these two parts, these kind of islands here. And this is something we've seen a lot of in terms of the screenshots and the trailers and stuff. Some of the buildings, some of the houses, and other kind of points of interest. So these, I think this is where the kind of toll bridge is. There, that shot, which you probably remember from the trailer. Really nice shot there. That kind of gives you an idea of where we're going to be. We head over here, and I suppose this suggests that this might be a safe house around here. We've got some apartment buildings. This is the crosstown area of Vice City, which is based on Overtown. And over here we've got La Perle or La Perla, which is based on Little Haiti. And up here we've got Stockyard, which is based on Wynwood. And I believe this is the area with the kind of colourful murals. Yeah, there we go. The colourful murals and the graffiti art and so on. The very, colourful buildings. Kind of artsy, hipster area, I suppose. A few more buildings here. They've got, as you can see, they've got a lot of detail on this, particularly in Vice City. Now up here is an area they suspect will be based on the design district, potentially called Bohemia. Up here we've got an area potentially called Tishawaka, based on Opaloka. I apologise if I'm mispronouncing these names. And Ekinfinaka, which is based on Alapata. Belleville, which is based on Brownsville. But as you can see, those are speculative at the moment, and we don't have that much detail. But up here, if we go north, we have Waning Sands, which I don't know if this is technically a part of Vice City or not. It looks like it might be separate, maybe a small town, but we can kind of see what kind of vibe we've got. We've got a few kind of shots here. I apologise if you can hear the planes in the background. I live on the flight path, and there seems to be a lot of planes coming and going this evening. Some other buildings here. I mean, that's not very clear, is it? Yeah, these are really kind of in the distance, and you really can't take much from them. But clearly the mappers believe there will be an area called Waning Sands here, and we do have some kind of visuals, but potentially a kind of just an offshoot area of Vice City, probably more residential than anything else. And down here there's some, what are these? Yeah, some more kind of apartment buildings, with another link over here to these islands where Vice Beach and everything is. Now I want to head back down south because we've missed some stuff down here. We've got the airport here, so very close to the kind of city centre, I suppose. And what's that? American Airlines aircraft maintenance hangar. I guess that's there in real life, and they suspect it will be there in the game as well. And yeah, if we zoom in, we've got Little Havana, which will be potentially called Little Cuba. And we've got Bayside, which is based on Bayfront. Again, not a whole lot confirmed in this area, but this is more the suburbs of Vice City. Downtown here, we've got, plenty of apartment buildings. We've got some sort of marina here. I believe this here is a stadium or an arena. Kaseya Center, which will be called Sahara Arena. Sahara being the ripoff of Amazon, as we now know. And another one of these, this is the port here. So this is Port VC, Port Vice City, based on Port Miami. And we can actually see that, will this show here? Yeah, we can see that in this shot here with the boats going alongside the port. So this is the kind of industrial area. And over here, actually, we have Fisher Island, which I nearly missed. And it looks like there's a golf course on it, a park, some sort of marina, a market maybe. I don't really understand what kind of the point of this island is, but whether it's just residential or what. But it will be really cool to have islands like this, and potentially, smaller islands even like that, where we can sort of, you don't necessarily have any reason to go there in terms of missions or story development or whatever. But as you're exploring the map, you can come across these kinds of places where maybe you weren't setting out to find them, but you might be driving along here and think, wait a second, I've never been over there. And you need to go and, find a boat, steal a boat to go over there, or, find a helicopter or something. And here we're going down into the quays from the port here. So this is going to be based on Virginia Key, and we go into what they believe is called Catalan Key, based on Key Biscayne. This here is a tennis stadium. They love tennis in Miami, apparently. I didn't know that. Over here, this is where we have that shot of Raul Batista on a boat. That's cool to kind of place that down. This will be, by the looks of it, one of these bridges that their names slip my mind, that open up. I can't believe I've forgotten what they're called, but that will be cool, because I could be wrong, but I don't think we've had any such bridges in GTA games before. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that will be kind of cool. Another cool thing, kind of like the train in GTA 5, where you might be driving and then the barriers will come down and you can't get through because the train's there. Or imagine if you're doing like a cop chase, you're being chased by the cops through here, and you can you can't get over and you're stuck, or potentially you can do a kind of Blues Brothers and jump the bridge. That would be really cool. Here we've got maybe a museum and gardens, and this, I should say, is Peacock Bay, which is based on Coconut Grove, another kind of coastal area here. Clearly very nice because there's a Ritz-Carlton there, and there's some stuff going on down here. What's this? This is a marina of sorts, down by the water. Makes sense. City Hall, potentially. Over here, if we return to the quays, we've got some things in the water, although it doesn't really tell us much. It's just very pixelated images. Oops, zoomed in a bit too much there. And if we continue heading south, again, we've got things out here. This is where we suspect Stiltsville will be, which is a real place, which are stilt houses in the water. Looks like those could be some there, potentially. This was actually a place that I predicted like 2 years ago would be in GTA 6, so it's cool to see that potentially come into fruition. If we keep heading south down here, we can head into an area where we've got quite a lot of detail. As you can see, we've got a lot of information. This is Key Lento, which is based on Key Largo, which is one of the kind of tourist hotspots in the Keys, or in Miami in general, or near Miami, I suppose. So this is going to be, this is the area I'm probably looking forward to exploring the most. I've always been really fascinated by the Florida Keys, so it will be cool to kind of explore this. And we've got a few buildings. We also think that this might be where Jason's first safe house is, because we see that in the second trailer. I don't know if there's a kind of marker for where that could be, or somewhere in the Keys, not necessarily in Key Lento, but we've also got, where was it? I missed it. There's that shot. Oh yeah, over here, Aquarius Research Station. So this is another one of the locations that was in my predicted locations video that I made a couple of years ago. There is an underwater research station in the Florida Keys in real life, and it just seems like a no-brainer to include this in the game somehow, even if, again, it's not part of the mission or the storyline or anything like that. It doesn't progress the game at all. If you could just go swimming or go scuba diving and kind of stumble across it, that would be like a really cool kind of Easter egg, I suppose. This is cool. A lighthouse, I guess, without the house, just a light. And again, we head further south. This is where some of the leaks, so these mark where the leaks are mapped out, I suppose. And this is an area we've kind of seen a bit of, the broken old railway bridge, I think it is, and the new bridge here. And we've got the kind of weather balloon, the blimp, Fat Albert blimp, as it's called in real life. And this, I guess, is some sort of like weather station over here, which I believe is also accurate to real life. We've got some kind of, I don't know what you'd call that, lagoon or something there. This is based on Bahia Honda Key. I don't actually know much about that at all. I don't think I've heard of that, so I may have said it wrong again. And here we go. We got another kind of broken up railway bridge, and the main highway going through here to what's in real life called Boca Chica Key, but could be called Airwood Key. And as you can see, here is the naval base, the air station, which is cool. I guess this will be like Fort Zancudo, I suppose, in GTA 5, although we could potentially get more than one military base. And here we have Key West. Well, that's what it's called in real life. We don't know what it's called in the game yet. But yeah, and so this is where it seems like we might start the game. Based on the second trailer, we see Jason working for Brian. I assume this is the safe house here. Yeah, so this is it. Although they've got a shot of a house that looks kind of like it in real life. So yeah, Jason will be, I suppose, working for Brian around here, and at some point he will unite or reunite with Lucia, and we will get the rest of the game. Whatever happens from there, I guess they go on to kind of step up their operations, commit more robberies and heists and so on. Anyway, as we continue up, this area here is the Everglades, or in the game it's called the Grass Rivers. Another area I'm really looking forward to exploring. This is an area I've spoken about a lot because I really can't wait to see kind of what secrets it holds, what Easter eggs are hidden in here. And this could be one of them here, the Cape Romano dome houses, which again are something I talked about in my locations predictions video from a couple of years ago. They are just these futuristic kind of UFO looking houses in the water. But I believe since this photo was taken and since my video, they have kind of collapsed into the water. But doesn't mean that they won't be in the game. That would be, again, another cool thing to see. And yeah, this is going to be just so vast and just incredible to explore, really. I'm really looking forward to just getting lost in here, encountering what kind of wildlife we can see, and just feeling, really disconnected from the rest of the map. And, maybe we'll have things like poaching rings or crashed planes or helicopters, alligator airboat tours, all those kinds of things. I'm just looking forward to a kind of Red Dead experience from this area, where it's just a vast kind of no man's land, and there are potentially little Easter eggs you can explore just by stumbling upon them. And it seems like the big town in the Grass Rivers is Watson Bay, which again we've had photos of in the dump we had last year, and it looks very interesting. We've got kind of, I think the main thing was this kind of restaurant here, or bar, right on the water. There we go. The Tipsy Cow, it's called in real life by the looks of it. So probably not a very big... this is the shot I was thinking of. Probably not a very big place, Watson Bay. Probably not a whole lot going on here, but still really interesting to explore, and hopefully some colourful characters and some missions to do in this area. Because this is what I really want to see from GTA 6. So much of GTA 5, as we know, was focused on Los Santos and, Los Santos, basically. We hardly use the other area. I mean, as Trevor in the early missions, we use Sandy Shores a bit, but for the most part, we spend most of our time in Los Santos, and I would just love to have more cities, more, even smaller towns like this with distinct character to them, but where, you have a reason to go there and where there's stuff to do there. It looks like we're going to hopefully get that. So if I move away a bit, I think we've done all of this. So again, another area here called, or based on, West Perrine. Oh, and we missed out here, Hamlet, which is based on Homestead. Another area kind of close to the Everglades, and perhaps a kind of bigger, maybe not a city, but a bigger town. Again, where there's a bit more going on, maybe. So kind of some shops and stuff over there, and there's something going on over here as well. This is potentially, nuclear power station by the looks of it. So that's cool to see. That's like a nice little, I don't know what that is, lagoon again, a pond, something like that. And yeah, as I said, West Perrine up here. What's this? Oh, this is the prison. Okay, so this looks like where Lucia is in prison at the beginning of the game. And we could potentially get a couple of prisons in this game, maybe more than one prison, which would be cool. West Perrine, an area here called based on Gables Estates. Kind of see it a bit there in the trailer. And an area here potentially called South Side, based on Coral Gables. So yeah, I think that's kind of, obviously I'm not going to go into every little tiny thing, but I think that's kind of Vice City and the Grass Rivers and the Keys. So if we kind of move into the areas where perhaps we don't know too much at the moment, we've got Ambrosia here, which I've actually made a video on. It's based on Clewiston in Florida, where there's a kind of big sugar refinery, sugar factory, and looks like that might be it here, potentially. Yeah, some sort of, Allied Crystal warehouse, some sort of industry, a very industrial kind of city with an airport, or at very least an airfield, which is cool. Love to see more than one airport. Obviously, again, in GTA 6, we got the main airport, Los Santos International. We got the Sandy Shores Airfield, which wasn't much of an airport. It was just an airstrip. And we got that one at the top of the map, which I can't even remember what it's called, but another airstrip that, again, wasn't massively important or that big. So it'd be cool to get a couple of bigger airports, and maybe that's a way of, I don't know if they're going to have fast traveling, but that could be a way of fast traveling. Might be a good way of getting around the map if it does end up being huge, or maybe they serve another function. For example, if in the future we get a map expansion where we can, say, fly to Liberty City or to Los Santos or, anywhere else, then potentially we go to the airport and we fly there. Much like kind of in GTA Online, we fly to Cayo Perico to do the heist or whatever. If we end up doing something where we have to fly to another map that doesn't exist on the normal free roaming map. Again, this is a baseball field here. And yeah, here we got Lake Okeechobee, known in the game as Lake Leonida or Lake Leonida. This is a huge lake, as you can see. I don't really know what else to say about it. I think it's funny that it's kind of in roughly the same place as the big lake, or the sea, I guess it's technically called, in GTA 5 as well, like right in the kind of middle of the north of the map. And I'm sure we'll have plenty to do here. We've got a parking lot, a boat ramp, and we got these kind of offshoots. I guess it turns into a river. And we've got that shot of the Weasel News helicopter over there, and a bridge there. We don't really know what it connects to at this point, but still. And then here we think we have Mount Leonida, or Mount Leonida, which again looks to be just a massive mountain, because obviously this area here is going to be Mount Carlaga National Park, which is, as you can see, an area we don't really know anything about, but will be a vast national park, forest, woodland area, where I'm sure there will be, again, much like the Everglades, a lot going on and a lot of kind of mountain ranges and so on. Here we have Mount Carlaga, or we suspect we'll have Mount Carlaga, based on Table Rock. There we go. And I should just quickly jump up here, because it looks like we may have a town up here called Sundown, but we don't know exactly where that will be, or if it will be there, or what's in it. We have no further details at this point. Similarly, down here we have, this is where kind of the equivalent of the Kennedy Space Center would be. So Sarah, I think, is the GTA version of NASA. So this is potentially where you could have a kind of a space center, which would be really cool. Yeah, Cape Canaveral in real life. Be really cool if we could kind of break in and, I mean, I don't suggest that we could steal a rocket or anything like that. That might be a bit far-fetched, but it would be cool to see a rocket, see a rocket take off or something. Down here we've got a reef, and there's something going on. A presidential bunker, potentially, yeah, a presidential bunker here. I wouldn't be surprised if we had an in-game version of Largo in GTA 6, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, because obviously we know that GTA games are very satirical and make fun of real life, but also I feel like they don't overdo it, so maybe that would be overdoing it, because the problem is that real life now is so much of a parody that satire kind of is a bit more complicated. Anyway, going back over to these mountain ranges, looks like we've got... Yeah, I actually really like this shot. It really reminds me of GTA 5 though, but I mean the detail is incredible. Love the road going through the middle of the mountains. Mount Waffles, love that. And there's a main road here going down to Port Gellhorn, which is based on Panama City, and quickly going to jump over here. Oh no, we already did that, didn't we? We already did Ambrosia's airport, but looks like we might get... Is this another one? No, this is the raceway, actually, which would be really cool. The Sebring International Raceway, as it is in real life, which is cool, and I did actually predict in my location predictions video that we would have a kind of raceway like this, because NASCAR is such a huge deal in Florida, so it makes sense. That's really cool. And I think we actually see Lucia wearing a t-shirt with Gellhorn International Raceway on it, so clearly Port Gellhorn is going to be quite a big area where perhaps we have quite a bit to do. It's also the area that was featured in those early leaks with Hank's Waffles, which I imagine is somewhere around here. No, that's the strip club. But yeah, clearly a lot going on here, and a lot that we think we know about. What's this over here? We've got a hotel under construction. We've got shops here. We got, yeah, that strip club, as I said. God knows what that is. A church. There's some sort of like food or drink place. Yeah, shrimp boat. Oh, here we go. I think this is where... This is maybe Hank's Waffles here. I believe so. Yeah, there we go. Hank's Waffles. From those infamous leaks where we see Lucia kind of go in, rob the place, and then drive off this way, and I think she crashes like here into this car wash. So we've kind of had a glimpse of Port Gellhorn already, but looking forward to seeing more of it, because clearly this could potentially be like the second city, like obviously Vice City being the main one. This could potentially be the second kind of city of GTA 6. And we also have Ambrosia fairly nearby, which also looks to be quite a big city, or perhaps not as big, but a big industrial hub on top of all the other places. Also worth noting that there's potentially going to be a place around here called Yorktown. Again, we don't know much about it, but there we go. And down here, there's kind of lots of empty space. We don't really know. Again, potentially a place called St. Joseph. Potentially, what's this? I think it's a memorial to a plane crash, potentially. So we could see something like that down here. I imagine there will be plenty more going on down here. We're just not sure at this point. And yeah, there's those Cape Romano dome houses potentially down there. So yeah, I think that's... I didn't want to drag this out for too long, but I think that's a fairly good sum up of what we can see in this map here. So we've got, yeah, Vice City over here with, you know, Vice Beach and Ocean Beach, Ocean Drive being over here. Obviously going to spend a lot of our time here. Then as we head south, we've got some of the kind of suburbs. And then we head into the Keys down here, where we think we'll start off as Jason. Grass Rivers here, based on the Everglades, with the smaller town of Watson Bay, based on Cedar Key, I think. We've got the airport here. And we'll head up into Ambrosia with Lake Leonida, heading up to Mount Culliga and potentially some other smaller towns we don't know anything about, as well as Yorktown and Port Gellhorn over in the kind of northwest, where it looks like we could have a few kind of missions and we could have something to do over there. So yeah, there you go. That's what things are looking like at the moment. Obviously, with the third trailer coming out this week, hopefully, we don't know for certain, but we hope it will come out with the pre-orders. It makes sense considering the last trailer still says May 2026. With a third trailer, potentially if we get screenshots as well, there will be more information for the mapping community to add to this map. They're changing it all the time, and I will definitely be doing another check-in on this map in the near future. Once we have more detail on it, we can point out the things that have changed. Again, none of this is set in stone. Things might get moved around, and just because an area is empty doesn't mean that there's not going to be anything there. There's much more to be added to this map, and ultimately this map is not going to be complete by the time that the game comes out. That's the beauty of it. It gives us a very rough idea of where things are and what things might look like. But ultimately we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and play the game for ourselves to see what everything really looks like. And that's the exciting part. This builds up hype without kind of spoiling too much. And so yeah, really looking forward to seeing what we get this week with the pre-orders and so on. Let me know what you think of the map, what you think of the areas that we've seen so far and the missing areas. What else would you like to see that's not on there? What are you looking forward to seeing? Let me know all of that, and I'll speak to you soon.